Hello Fortniters, it's fully loaded, back with another video. I'm again continuing with the theme, trying to give tips and tricks to newer players or more novice players such as myself. Yeah, trying to hopefully help somebody get a win or even get deeper. I mean, you gotta take small steps. I remember it took me a long time to get my first solo victory royale, so you know, maybe if this helps you get to the top 10 a little more frequently with, eventually, with enough play, you'll get a win. So be it. Like, I mean, let's take baby steps. Yeah. So anyway, again, continuing theme. I think I go to this spot lately. I actually have been enjoying this particular spot. Again, edge of the map, it has that for it. It usually has a decent amount of loot. I'm usually able to walk out of this area with full shield, which is important, and I'm usually not too far away from a good rotation point. If I go to the right, you have the islands and some boats. If you go to the left, you can work your way down to the rifts. At the outpost stations, or you can just shoot right up the center through the jungle there, and yeah, so you got some options, but the main thing being it's not heavy traffic and edge of the map, which again, keys to my success, I believe. I mean, these are the things, accumulated things that I try to keep in mind and try to do each game, and I think it's allowed me to get wins on a pretty consistent basis. So I've sped up the gameplay, as you may have noticed, just partly because it's a little slower game. I spend a large part of the game gathering mats and supplies and whatnot, and yeah, the action doesn't really doesn't happen until mostly till the end. So, but yeah, again, I want to hammer home these themes. If it sounds like I'm being repetitive, it's just because I'm trying to hammer home the points that I think are important to get your win. I have definitely less building skills than a lot of players. But I like to think I overcome that by playing smart, playing stealthy, and playing disciplined. I believe I have good game generalship, and what I mean by that is just I'm aware, I'm patient. I don't engage in every fight that I could engage in strategically, because I'm not that confident I'm going to win every fight that I get into. Some players are, and that's great. And I do believe aggression is important in this game, and I think the aggressive player, I'm not saying they always win, but I think it gives them an advantage. I mean, they're moving first, they're acting first, they're putting the other player on the defensive. So I think being aggressive in this game is smart. But again, with my skill set, I tend to try to do like smart aggression. So say two people enter into a battle, and one wins. Maybe that's your opportunity to jump in and try to clean up that other person that survived, because likely they're going to be injured, and it'll make it that much more easier in theory for you to take them out. So that's what I'm talking about with aggression with my game style. It's more strategic aggression, attack the wounded player, sit in the bush versus building up a small structure. Again, I'm just getting attacked by a pig here, or boar, so I had to kill it just to get my shield back up. so the hazards of running through the map. So sometimes, as careful as I am, I still run into hazards, wild boars, wolves. Um, so yeah, but yeah, I try to be strategically aggressive. Because I think being too passive is not good either. Like I've seen some players be like mortally wounded after they've defeated somebody, and maybe there's two players left, and the one, say a bush camping player that's kind of being really passive, if they would have attacked that, that survivor, that second player at the end game right away, they probably would have won and taken them out. They probably only had to put like one shot on them, but they allowed them to heal back up, and boom, they can't outplay that player with full health. So you got to take your advantages where you can. If you can attack somebody who has less health, or if they're in a bad position, or if they can't see you because you're in a bush, these are tactics that I use time and time again, and they work. It's like the leveling the playing field. They have the skill set. I like to say, or like to think that I have, the better game generalship, the smarter play, in that sense, and that levels the playing field. Most of my wins are from, shooting a better player in a bush, or, shooting a better player when I have high ground. Or shooting a better player after they've already engaged in a battle and they're weakened and I've beat them because I only have to get a couple shots on them. Or what I've been discovering lately is, having better weapons. If you have a better loadout, again, you can gain the advantage. Like, if the difference between a gold or legendary AR and somebody who has like an uncommon AR, green AR, and you guys are going at it shot for shot, I mean, maybe the difference in strength between those two guns, allows you to have the same amount of hits, but you take them out maybe one shot ahead of them taking you out and survive. It's things like that that make the difference in the game. So anyway, I just killed that player that had lasered them. They were going for the supply drop, and yeah, I just lasered them. And so again, not a whole lot going on in this game. I think I've opened 2 rare chests this game, which is don't want to say it's rare, but it doesn't happen too often that I find 2 of them. And then I got the supply drop, I guess technically, from getting it from that player. And now here we are. Like, I spent all my time just getting to this point, getting deep. Only ran into one player who didn't see me. So again, it's fine to run into players, but ideally you see them first and again get the advantage. If you see a player first and you get 5 or 6 shots in on them, the chances are, the probability are that you're gonna take them out and win that match. So again, these are the things: high ground, better weapons, seeing the player first, being in a bush. Again, you just think about not being seen. Somebody may know you're in a bush, but they don't. Like, if you're in a big bush, they can't find you. So if they're peeking over a build, you're seeing them clearly and shooting at them. They can't see where in the bush you're at. So again, it brings down their hit percentage. So it's these little things that will give you the edge, and if you keep doing them consistently over and over again, you're gonna get better. You're gonna get more confident with what you're doing, and you're gonna start getting wins. That's how it happened for me. And then learn from your mistakes. Like, if you can analyze something where you're like, oh, I just stood there in the open and tried to shoot it out with somebody and missed some shots, and maybe if you built like a little 2-wall ramp to block some of those shots, maybe that would have made the difference. So it's sort of not only noticing those things, but it's acting on them and trying to learn from them and implement them in the following game. So between actual gameplay, I mean, there's nothing better than actual gameplay, but it's hopefully videos like mine are helping you. Hopefully you know, the commentary that goes along with the gameplay helps you, and then it enables you to apply them in game. And again, get deep and hopefully get a win. So as you can see here, it's getting down to the end now. There's 4 players left. I'm hugging the edge of the map, using the hills as a cover. I thought I heard something on this hill, which is why I shoot this bush. I'm thinking, somebody's, using my little trick. So nobody was there, but I must have heard the player that's just down over this hill here. And I just lasered the player. They must have been one shot. Like, I put so many bullets in them, and they managed to run off, so good on them. And, there must have been another fight down there, because now we're down to 3. So the only way they can go is up this hill here. So I'm trying to pre-aim. This player comes out, and I miss most of my shots. Get a couple hits on there, and I build my rudimentary wall. And this little, like, building floors and then the roofs, it's a pretty good tactic. You can do it quick. The roofs help protect you. And, this player's putting a lot of shots on my build. I'm trying to repair it as I go. This player killed the other remaining player, the 3rd player, and now I've touched him up a bit. He was under pressure. High ground is king.